Hey, welcome everybody. Definitely looking forward to sharing this workshop along with you. Let's go ahead and dive into this, and we'll talk about how to really increase your marketing, especially heading into the new year. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning of the whole process. What the biggest thing is we want to be able to talk about, and I don't care what kind of business you're in, what industry you're in, the biggest thing we really want to be able to do is triple the amount of appointments you get scheduled. And it's a very simple, easy process. The big thing, you just got to follow it. So let me tell you exactly what we've done, how we do it, all the details along with it. The big thing is, though, first you need to stop flushing your marketing money down the toilet. Is out of 13 different verticals we have tested this with, and over 100 different split tests overall, we have produced millions in revenue. We also discovered really a foolproof strategy that any small business can implement within 4 days. And when I say within 4 days, I'm talking about within just a couple of hours each day for 4 days. So it's not like you have to work on this nonstop for 4 solid days. And just chunk it down and you can implement it here right away. The biggest thing is it's very easy to deploy. We even trained a 14-year-old junior high student to be able to do this for her dad's company. And she ended up being very consistent and really kind of helped get her dad's company through some walls that they were facing. So by the end of the presentation, I'll share with you the exact strategy that we're talking about. So I have some promises. At the end, you'll know exactly how to properly use this 157-year-old technique. You'll also know how to leverage old media along with new media. People always talk about, just different types of advertising still work: print, direct mail, billboards, because everybody knows we live in a very digital age, and we'll address that head on. Also, you'll know the exact system that we use to get 8 to 10 times the typical results, and I'll give you what those results really are. But first, before we dive into this, I want you to really eliminate your distractions as much as possible. Put your phone on mute, get off Facebook, close down that tab, go wherever there's quiet, where it's quiet, and get ready to take some notes and really start diving into this. So the first thing is open up your mind. And what I challenge you to do, and challenge all of our clients to do, is you really need to focus on the results. It's not necessarily about, hey, I need to tweak this and I need to tweak that, and that doesn't really fit me. Focus on the results. If you focus on the results, the rest of it will really follow. We'll talk about how we went personally from a 0.015% ROI, return on investment, to over a 30% return on investment. We'll talk about how we get better results than most Fortune 500 companies using this exact process. And actually, you can gain a lot of these by even spending less money. And I'll tell you exactly how you do that. We have some clients that spend as little as $200 to $300 a month doing this. Other ones are spending $4,000 to $5,000 on up per month. But you don't have to be spending a lot of money. And a lot of times when you show people this process, they'll actually cut back their marketing budget a little bit and really hone in on tracking the ROI and hone in on the results. So the big thing is stick around to the end of the presentation, and I'll send you the checklist that we use in our agency when we deploy this highly effective strategy. And it's almost virtually guaranteed to produce extremely high ROI when you use this exact simple process that we'll lay out. So before we kick off as well, remember this isn't necessarily your fault. I run into it all the time, owner agency. Everyone seems to be a marketing expert. Everyone gives you advice, but the majority of people have never done it or never done it consistently to really produce the results that I can now guarantee. Is that there's a lot of dabblers out there. There's not many people that are consistent. And this whole program comes down to really being consistent in what you're trying to do. So trust me, I see people falling for this all the time. You'll talk to your neighbor, you'll talk to your spouse, talk to, maybe some different employees internally, and they'll give you all kinds of different opinions. At the end of the day, you just need to be consistent and follow this. So in marketing as a whole, things have changed a lot. I was talking to a veterinarian clinic here just a couple weeks ago, and he talked about how they used to do a bunch of fax blasts. And fax blasts actually used to work out quite well for them. And then it kind of transitioned into telemarketing, and there's still a lot of telemarketing that takes place today. Then direct mail, that's where AOL really exploded and first really took off was direct mail. Ironically enough, their direct mail program worked out so well that they had a hard time fulfilling on a lot of it. Then you took a look at the internet coming up and how to get towards the top of the search terms. This is well before Bing, well before Google. You had like Alta Vista and Dogpile and those type of things. Then it shifted more towards MySpace and then really Facebook. And so we'll talk about how you can take the old school approach, get fantastic results, but really leverage it with today's digital world. So just, I have been there. Again, we've talked about everyone's a marketing genius, no one does anything consistently. The thing I want to hit home on is the biggest downfall in life overall, in business, outside of business, is the lack of overall consistency. And if you just stick to a plan, the results generally follow. So if you're like many of the small businesses I've worked with, you may be nervous about testing out a new marketing strategy. But that is other small businesses, and that is not you. I'm passionate about helping out small businesses. That's why I created Maly Academy. That's why we do workshops on a weekly basis. That's why I do speaking engagements all over really the Midwest of the country. So many small business owners are excellent at running their business, but they admit they don't know exactly where to allocate their marketing funds. You know, the old joke is, I know that half my marketing works. Unfortunately, I don't know which half of it actually works. And so we'll dive into that. Many of my success stories start out with small businesses with virtually little marketing options, low marketing budgets, and many previously failed campaigns. And so we'll hit home on how they overcome and what they did. And my promise to you as well is you'll have some aha moments. There'll be some things here that I want you to be able to take, to jot down, to be able to implement. So you should have at least a half to at least 10 kind of aha moments. So diving into kind of a little bit who I am, again, my name is Steve Maly, and I own an agency based here in the Midwest. People have coined me the marketing guy next door. So I've owned an ad agency, and actually next month it'll be for 12 years. And we do anything from tourism marketing to small business marketing to health and wellness, helping eye doctors and chiropractors and physicians and those type of people really set up and get appointments on a very regular basis. I also lead trainings all across the Midwest, as well as on the East Coast, West Coast. And so we'll have trainings talking about small business marketing, talking about online marketing, talking about social media marketing, talking about simply tracking your marketing. And the joke is, really around the office, is I live in a sorority house. I got two beautiful daughters and my beautiful wife, as well as a female dog. And that actually changed here just a couple months ago when we were blessed with a baby boy. So now I at least got somebody else really on my side. So to give you an idea, 13 days after I graduated from the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, I started assisting small businesses. Now, I had no passion when it came to big national brands, to big corporations, to the hierarchy and everything went along with it. Is my whole family is entrepreneurs. Is that out of the 10 people, mom, dad, aunts, and uncles, 9 out of 10 actually own their own business or have in the past. The only one, ironically, that has not is my mom, and she worked in government, which is really about as far as you can get from a small business. But that was my roots. That's all I knew growing up. It was one of those things I recall being 16 years old, talking, her name at the time was Haley Anderson. She's since gotten married, but talking with her about career goals, going to college and what do you want to do? And I remember she said she wanted to go to the university and she wanted to go work for some Fortune 500 company and be an admin assistant. And that was literally the first time in my life that I realized not everybody wanted to own their own company. I had no idea. And so once I graduated college, I jumped into it right away and wanted to focus solely on small businesses. Now, we've talked about them, I've spoken nationally on a very regular basis. Here, just recently, I was voted a top speaker in a national conference that came in. And so I was very, very excited about that. The top question I get, regardless which coast that we're on, what topic we're talking about, is how do I make my marketing dollars stretch even farther? So really, that's my passion. That's the reason why you're on this call, and that's why I want to walk you through the system that we use so you can make your marketing dollars stretch farther. So to give you an idea of people that I've worked with, companies I've worked with, it's been a Fortune 500 company like Mutual of Omaha, University of Nebraska, State of Nebraska, NASCAR. We've helped with them a lot on selling tickets. We've also done a ton of small business owners, food manufacturers, restaurants, food vendors, tourism entities, regional events, and really kind of the whole gamut. So I'm going to show you what major corporations do, and I'll show you how to do it for pennies on the dollar. Literally, I'll pull it in 10 or 8 to 10 times the results. So what I'm going to show you, every Fortune 500 company uses this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to a certain extent. They have spent billions of dollars in testing as well. So even these companies are thrilled to remain at the 2 to about 4% ROI level. What we want to do, average with what we're talking about, marketing conversions, if you do an average marketing campaign, you'll get about 3% results, 3% ROI on your money. The good is about 6 to 8%. Actually, if, like I said, Fortune 500 companies, if they get that 4 to 6%, they get pretty ecstatic. But good results, again, are 6 to 8%. Our results on a fairly consistent basis has been 30% plus. So the most successful industries we've done, eye doctors, chiropractors, dentists, consultants, automotive repair, banks, engineers, hospitals, accountants. So you can see we've really ran the gamut from health and wellness to just small business, really overall. Dealt a lot with CEOs, COs, CPAs, health nuts, NFL coaches, pet owners, families. Again, it's really all over the board. A lot of times people think, well, that sounds good, but that doesn't work for me. I guarantee you we have tested it inside your market or in front of your audience, and it's worked for them on a very consistent basis. So one thing I do want to bring up, what we're talking about generally speaking, because I'm assuming you're doing some kind of marketing here right now. So what I'm talking about isn't necessarily drastic changes. It's simply making some tweaks. Here, about a year and a half ago, we trained Mary Pat. She was 64 and a half years old, and she told me very upfront, she's 64 and a half years old, that she was getting ready to retire in 6 months. She didn't want to learn anything new. And you can tell from the get-go that it might be a little tough transaction to kind of work with her. But literally within spending 40 minutes with her, it really opened up her eyes. And she's like, well, I'm already doing this. Instead of hitting this button, I hit this button. Or instead of saying this, I just got to change this. And it's exactly right. If she was able to take and implement it, just about anybody really can. And so I'm a huge, huge, huge believer. You probably are 90% of the way there. If you are doing something, if you're tracking even a little bit, if your name is out there, you're 90% of the way there. So now what we're trying to do is learn and teach you how to apply to get that extra 10%. So what our solution is, and what this highly effective 157-year-old marketing technique that we're dominating in is direct mail when it's done our way. And keep in mind, it's not your traditional direct mail. It's not that junk mail that you get and you just toss off to the side. There's a very strategic way to do this, and we leverage Facebook. We leverage Google. We leverage online habits, online behaviors, and so we leverage today's current market and how people interact. So to give you an idea on our direct mail to digital system, and we're going to cover each component of this, is we really micro-target our audience. That's where we start. I'll define exactly what that is and walk you through that process. Then we will surround them. So it's not just that initial direct mail piece. We'll hit them in numerous ways. That just happens to be the first foot in the door. Offer value along the way. The biggest downfall a lot of companies make when they do marketing is, hey, look at me. I'm great. I'm amazing. I'm the best in town. I have the best service. I have the lowest prices. It's all about them. And we'll talk about how do you offer value. And the key to this is education-based marketing. Make sure it's not just about you. Make sure you give value back whenever you can. Teach them, educate them, allow them to be the best buyers they can be. And the last thing, be consistent. Obviously, I've hit on this a few times. I'll continue to hit on this really throughout. You have to be very, very consistent in what you do. So some old habits, a lot of times what people do when it comes to direct mail is they go to a mail house and they purchase a list. They purchase a zip code. In that zip code, maybe there's 10,000 households, but they want to mail to that zip code. Then they go to the printer and they have the printer do the design work. Let me allow you in on a little secret. 99% of the printers we deal with, they're not design studios. They're not marketing studios, marketing agencies, advertising agencies. What they do, they're print shops. Now, they might have a talented designer on staff who can make things look pretty, but there's a difference between making things look pretty and actually making them effective. And I don't care how pretty it looks. What I care about is literally the ROI at the end of the day. Ironically enough, and we've tested this over and over and over again, some of the, how do I want to put it politely, some of the less attractive marketing pieces sometimes actually outperform the very, very high-end, skilled, beautiful marketing pieces. And so we'll get down into the details of that. But again, print shops are not, design shops are not marketing. They don't know strategy. They're great at printing, great at putting things on paper and printing it off. But outside of that, they're not strategic. So what people do then is they send out letters or they send out a postcard. A lot of the time, call to action would be too soft or too murky, or they'll talk about, hey, we're great, and we're giving you 50% off, something along those lines. Very old school. They would do it once, and they would wait for the business to roll in. So that's how people traditionally do it. We want to break those habits. So I want to show you and break down exactly what we do to get 10 times the results of a typical mail campaign. So to start off with the direct mail to digital system, we have, and what we want from you is to be able to think small. It's not about buying a list of 10,000 people in a zip code. Potentially it's buying a list of 2,000 people inside of a zip code that share a lot of commonalities. Then we'll take a look at leveraging new technologies, updating your old methods, and again, being consistent. And we know the exact ROI each time, and we'll show you exactly how we know that. So step number one, this is where I really want you to focus on, is the audience. And then everybody knows, yeah, I got to start with the audience. It's my target audience. My target audience is, really it's probably 25 to 55-year-olds that live in a certain town. And you know what? 25 to 35-year-olds are completely different versus 35 to 45 versus 45 to even 55. And so they're not clear. What we request and what we require working with our clients is for you to become very, very clear on who you're going after. We want you to get to know them on such an intimate basis that literally if they are walking down the street, is that you're able to see them. And you're able to point them out. Yep, that person would be a perfect person for me to be able to give my marketing piece to. Or no, they're not my market. It doesn't make sense. So what we start with is the best buyer profile. And if you send me an email, just send me an email, steve@malyacademy.com. I'll be more than happy to send you out this template as well. So you'll have this template in hand. So the big thing is you get to know them on an intimate basis. You need to know their background, their demographics, their identifiers, their lifestyle, their beliefs, and their challenges. If you know these 6 areas, you'll be able to really produce some fantastic marketing around those areas, speak directly to them, and this alone will actually increase your marketing probably by 3 to 5%. ROI-wise, taking it from 3% to 6%, 3% to 8%. Just this alone does it. One of the biggest wastes of marketing is not being clear and having clarity around exactly who your best buyers are. It's that whole 80-20 rule. 80% of your revenue and profits come from 20% of your clients. Well, let's replicate that 20%. Let's not replicate the whole package. Let's replicate just that 20%. This alone, again, is how we also cut down a direct mail list from 10,000 people to 2,000 people. I mean, you can imagine the difference in expenses of doing 10,000 pieces versus 2,000 pieces. When it comes down to printing costs, postage costs, mail house costs, sorting, all that type of stuff, labeling, is that this alone will save you a bunch of cash and increase your ROI. So what I want to do is be able to really kind of break this down and show you an example of the best buyer profile. So one that we did, and this had to do with tourism. We're trying to attract families into a certain area for tourism. And so inside of any family, you have the main decision maker. Let me clue you in on something, is that females control 78% of all household spending, especially when it comes to planning trips, is they control, actually, it's closer to 85% of spend. And so what we want to do is not concentrate on families. We want to concentrate on the mother of the family. And so for her, this was located just outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, about 45 miles away. We were trying to attract her. And so what we did is we knew the demographic, being a young mom, they generally fall between the ages of 25 to about 40. So we picked a number right in the middle, a 32-year-old female that's married with kids, married with young kids. And what we did is typically how Lincoln's built, and this is how a lot of towns are built kind of throughout the U.S., is you have a lot of people from small towns that move into kind of the bigger town. And so we knew that she was probably average when it came to that and stuck around. Well, if she's 32 years old, she's married with 2 kids, we kind of an idea in her lifestyle overall. And I'll tell you exactly where we can pull this information from. It's not things that we just make up. It's things that we actually can pull and verify. With that being said, your gut will tell you a decent chunk of this. You've been in front of your audience. You've interacted with them. You've talked with them, some people on a daily basis. Your gut should really tell you exactly who your audience is and fill you in these gaps. There's a lot of other resources, and I will give you these other resources as well where you can pull this information from. And so you have a really solid idea on how to really kind of pull this all together. So identifiers, we know that she makes about $58,000. The reason is the ones that travel and the ones that we want to attract, household income-wise, makes a little bit more than the average household. To give you an idea, put it in perspective, the average household income in Lincoln, Nebraska is $49,000. And so they make more than the average, $58,000, not a great amount more, but a little bit more. So with her being a young mom, we also can start identifying her a little bit more. We know that she's trying to balance family life and work life. A typical mom, 32 years old, a couple of kids, is facing that dilemma on a daily basis. She loves being identified with her family, but she still yearns for some of her younger years and simply just escaping. Again, doesn't have a lot of discretionary income, but still likes to be spontaneous. And so you start to really fill in some of those gaps. The next thing is you take a look at lifestyle. Doesn't live paycheck to paycheck anymore, but doesn't have a ton of money and spending money. Again, that tells us through the household income, the average debt, or excuse me, the average expense that the household income puts out is about $48,000. So she doesn't have a whole heck of a lot left over at the end of the year. Also, we know if she's 32, she still lives in the first house they bought, but is looking to upgrade over the next couple of years. Generally, people, especially in the Midwest, upgrade their home right around the age of 33 to 35 to 36. That's the biggest time in their lives they take a look at upgrading. Bigger families, more space, more income, potentially higher net worth, those type of things. And being a mom, she's quite busy with sick kids, doctor's appointments, after school programs, and simply just trying to succeed at work while still being a mom. So we know that. Now we dive into her beliefs. And again, and I'll be able to tell you, well, here's one key. One way we're able to pull out some of these beliefs and lifestyles is we take some of the best clients or some of the clients you really want to replicate, and we talk to them. We hold a 5-minute conversation. And if you want to send me an email, steve@malyacademy.com, I'd be more than happy to give you kind of the spreadsheet template that we use to hold these conversations. They're 5-6 minutes in length. We only ask roughly about 10 questions. Only a few of those, by the way, are on a scale of 1 to 5. We really want to dive deeper into that and be a conversation, not just kind of a fact collecting call type of thing when it comes to very cold and not very warm. And so again, I'll send you that interview template if you just send me an email at steve@malyacademy. I'd be more than happy to forward that on to you. But you'll be able to get some great golden nuggets by simply talking to them. Everybody knows it, but hardly anybody does it. And those that do it, don't do it consistently. So some of her beliefs that we got by doing some client interviews. She feels forgotten at times because she's so busy with everything, and she feels it's her role to reignite the relationship. Sometimes is a little jealous of her friends without kids and the perceived freedoms that they enjoy. And again, it's completely in love with her husband and understands how important it is to date. So those are the internal beliefs that she has, and you need to overcome to a certain extent. So some challenges is convincing her that she needs more than a few hours away, showing fun, different things she can't experience in or locally, breaking through so she understands she deserves an escape, and convincing her it's okay to let her in-laws watch her kids for the weekend, and a trip 45 minutes away is still close enough to come back in case of emergency. So that right there, those challenges will let you know she's thinking about this. Like, these are things that she needs to overcome, regardless if she states it to you directly or not. They're in the back of her mind. So it's those challenges you need to be able to overcome inside of your marketing. So real quotes. With kids, work, after school activities, everything else, it's easy to forget about us. I miss us. There's so many other things in our lives that distract us from each other. And I'd like to escape for the weekend. However, I don't want to be too far away. So with all that knowledge, everything that she's told us through the research that we've done, it comes back to she deserves an escape. It's only 45 minutes away where we're trying to get her to, but it's far enough away to reconnect and close enough to run home if she needs to. It allows her to rekindle that fire and passion. And there are plenty of options to experience, from events to outdoors to relaxing, and allows her to get back to just being us. So that marketing message, we might not say it exactly how it's listed here, but that's the core. That's what's behind the marketing message. That's what we have to hit home on. We have to hit home on that. We know that because she's told us this through interviews, through doing research, through knowing our clients. And I'll show you again where we pull some of this research from. But that's what we need to really kind of get across. And so that way she starts building that trust with us, and we're that much more successful. So some sources we've used. Nielsen. Nielsen does the household TV viewing, does radio viewing, or the listenership. It gives you some fantastic information. The University of Michigan, their business school, actually has a website set up that really allows you to dive a little deeper into buyers and potential buyers. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics really kind of does the same thing on that. One thing we do use, and this is Claritas, 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 My Best Segments. If you Google Claritas My Best Segments, this will pop up. And it's a fantastic, fantastic resource. So what I did for this is I typed in a zip code where some of our best buyers were located at. I typed in a zip code. What it did, it took a look at all the commonalities inside of that zip code, and I gave some more information, exactly who we were going after. We were going after how they defined it was upper middle-aged people without kids, mostly under the age of 55. And then it takes a look at the map. It takes a look at the whole United States. So if you sell on more of a regional, national scale, in red, you can see the different hot areas really across the country we can go and hit home on. I can also zoom in just to your specific state and find out those areas, where those people are located at within your state, within your city. So just with this tool, Claritas My Best Segments, it allows you to really kind of get deeper into your audience and allows you to see neighborhood by neighborhood by neighborhood where you should be spending some of your money, who you should be going after. The cool thing is over here, you take a look at household income, take a look at lifestyle and media traits. You also have neighborhood demographics, household demographics, other lifestyles. There's free, and what I'm showing you here is all free. There's also a paid version. I think the paid version, if I recall correctly, was about 110, 120 bucks. The free version will get you 90% of the way there. The premium will help close that gap. Is it essential for every client we've dealt with to be able to get into the premium? Absolutely not. Because if you Google, just use the Google machine, find out more information, hold the interviews, and use this, you can get fantastic information. However, we do have some clients that do want to go and upgrade to the premium. So they spend 110 or 120 bucks for 1 month. It's per month, by the way, for 1 month. And then they unsubscribe, and they have all this information they can use in all their marketing. So that's the power of being able to get directly into the list and knowing your audience. The thing is, do you know that you can purchase these exact same details about your best buyer for less than half a cent per person? I'll be able to share some of that list with you. The cool thing is you can also replicate your exact buyers that you have right now and purchase lists of people that share the most common characteristics of the people already buying from you. So that alone allows you to take some of the guesswork out. What they do, they line up about 19 common characteristics. With those 19 common characteristics of your buyers that you have now, they'll take a look at the top and which are the ones that are most common and which are the ones that really drive a lot of the results. And they take a look at that and then they replicate those lists and find people exactly like them. And so it doesn't cost a lot of money. People believe that it does, but you get that list, you can leverage that list and use that list literally in cases for years to come. So with that being said, I'll get into more details with the list and replicating and all that. The second thing we require from you is you have to know your numbers and you have to know your lifetime value of your customer. It's not simply they walked in the door today and they gave me $100. Over the next 3 years, how much money are they giving you? What does that mean over the next 3 years? You have to focus on that lifetime value. I don't care if somebody walks in the door today and gives you $100. A lot of times, if we spend $100 to get that person to walk in your door, you can make 10 times that. And that's what we focus on. Not simply, oh my God, we spent $100 to make $100. You have to be thinking about the future. I'm assuming here, but I'm assuming you want to be in business for 3 years. So you need to have that focus. You need to have that clarity around the next 3 years. So an example, if somebody comes into you and buys 10 times over the next 3 years, and their average purchase price is $120, that means their average lifetime value is $1,200. So again, if it costs $100 to get that buyer to come in for the first time, it's still a 12-to-1 return. Most people I know would love to take a 12-to-1 return. And what we want you to do is focus on the 20% of your clients who are really making up 80% of your revenue and how to leverage that. So let me give you an example of how this worked out extremely well for a client of ours. There's a daycare center. And for those of you that have kids or that have had kids that you have paid daycare for, because it can be extremely expensive. I have a daughter, my oldest daughter will be going to college here in a couple of years. And it's actually going to be cheaper for us to send her to school and pay for her to go full-time and buy her books than it is to send our youngest boy to daycare, which is unbelievable. But we worked with this client and we knew and understood the lifetime value. We understood once a child came to her daycare center, that child would be there on average for 2.5 years. In 2.5 years, either they'd graduate, go into kindergarten type of thing, families would move, something would happen, but that average kid would be there 2.5 years. She knew the total revenue generated from that child being there for 2.5 years was $18,000. So when we ran a campaign for her, we're trying to think of different incentives to try to get people in. And so we did a lot of education, like how to pick out the best daycare, and here's some warning signs, here's the different games you can play with your kids yourself, courtesy of us type of thing, to help encourage learning with your kids. But the incentive we came together with was, actually we split test 2 of them. One of them was free diapers for an entire year. If you took your kid, you signed up your kid for daycare at this place, is they put diapers on your kid for free for an entire year. The other one they gave you 1 month free. Is if you signed up, I think it was like the second month, you paid 1 month, and the second month ended up being the kind of the free month. The value on the 1 month free for them was $750. The value in order to put diapers on your kid for an entire year, keep in mind, she bought diapers in bulk. She had an idea of exactly how many kids she was going to do this for, was $247. With $247 in value, that campaign, that incentive pulled 5 to 1, pulled 5 times better than the free month of daycare. The reason is that people associate more pain with putting diapers and giving diapers to their kids and making sure there was enough diapers at daycare, to put more pain to that than simply 1 month of daycare. So even though it only cost her $247, not $750, where the average month would be, is that people went to that 5 to 1. We also knew she'd be more than happy to spend $247 in order to get in a client that brings in $18,000 in revenue. So again, that's the power of knowing your lifetime value and focusing on that with your clients. So number 3 is direct mail, and this is when we really kind of get into it. So the direct mail pieces is how we do it. We do 4 pieces over an average buy-in cycle. Some of your buy-in cycles might be 3 months. Other ones, like dentists, how you're supposed to come in every 6 months, might be 6 months, 8 months. We've worked with mechanics, and sometimes the mechanics we're taking a look at a 3 to 4 month basis. We've done other campaigns with clients. We took a look over a 12-month basis. So it all comes down to what your average buy-in cycle is, and you want to hit them up 4 times inside of that. The very first time needs to be a nice high-end direct mail piece. When I say high-end, it doesn't necessarily have to be real expensive. It just has to be different. There's an example right there in the header where there was a hair salon, and I kind of gave an extension of hair on that card. And it was something that really stuck out. It was really different. We've sent out boxes full of, the little toys or nuggets inside of it. For some people, we've even done an envelope, and it had simply just a nice looking, like actually useful pen inside. Now, if you receive an envelope in the mail and you feel it, touch it, and there was a pen inside, there's a pen. You don't need to open it up. However, with us being curious creatures, is that we always do. We want to know what that pen looks like. We want to have that. And so whatever it takes to really kind of open up that first piece, to break through that clutter, to really stick out in somebody's mind. That's the goal of the first high-end piece. The next 2 pieces can be follow-up postcards, oversized. We're talking about 6x9 postcards. You can go a little bit bigger than that. That's perfectly fine as well. But it can't be 4x6. It can't be 5x7. The reason behind that becomes too common. 4x6 gets lost along with just the regular mail itself. The 5x7 sticks up a little bit more, but that's not the results we're looking for. 6x9 or bigger, oversized postcards. With that, it's to kind of remind them about the first piece that you sent. Maybe highlight the incentive, give them some kind of value on that piece, teach them something, give them something they can actually use, potentially hold on to. And then the last piece towards the end of your buying cycle is another higher end piece with the strongest call to action yet. You need to have a strong call to action throughout, but this one is kind of the strongest call to action to date. So another high-end piece, something that's different, and you'll be able to put that in front of them. This alone, along with the best buyer, but this segment right here alone can help increase your ROI. The reason is majority of people, I think company-wise is like 77% that try direct mail, try it 1 time. They send out 1 direct mail piece. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, great. Actually, most of the time it doesn't work. And they get extremely flustered and frustrated, and they have that belief, and trust me, it's just a belief. It's that belief that direct mail doesn't work. Or if you have a system like this, first of all, you're hitting the right people, the exact people you want to be going after. Not everybody inside of that zip code of 10,000 people, but just the 2,162 people that actually would be a good fit, that meet your criteria, that are your best buyers. You hit them up 4 times over a buying cycle, and you'll start to see the results really kind of rolling in. But again, that isn't the whole key to this process. That's a component. That's direct mail. That's where direct mail really starts. The big thing is when you do a call to action on this, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One is to drive traffic to a website. And there's different ways for you to start tracking that traffic once they go onto your website. Maybe call to actions, do phone calls. Maybe it's to download a white paper. That actually, with business to business, that can work out quite well. Maybe it's to view a video. We've done direct mail pieces, and the call to action is to view a customized video. And we've had 38% of those people actually follow up and view that video. You know, it could be anything. Anything for the call to action is, yes, it's sales driven. You want to get sales at the same time you want to get them into your sales funnel. You'll be able to funnel them at the end of the day to be able to get sales. You need to take that first step. You're required to take that first step to get them in your sales funnel and then be able to follow up with them. So tips on this too. Use handwriting wherever you can. Think about it. Outside of this time of year, outside of the holiday season, when do you ever get a direct mail piece with any type of handwriting on it? You hardly ever do. And so use handwriting wherever you can. We've even done it on postcards, where it's a quick one line on that postcard. It's like, hey, this is what's going on. Looking forward to meeting you. Looking forward to talking with you. Hey, take advantage of this special incentive, whatever it may be. But you can even actually think about, there's fonts that you can use that look exactly like handwriting, and just print that directly off. So you don't have to sit down and write out 2,167 direct mail pieces. Is it maybe just use a font that looks directly or exactly like handwriting? Insert promotional products. We talked about the high-end piece on the beginning at the end. Is use some kind of promotional product that they can actually use. They can have in their hand. Maybe it's a stress ball. We've done it where it's been really calendars have worked out fairly well. We've also done it where it's been anything from as simple as pens to as complex as kind of an IT map and how people need to follow to make certain IT decisions. But using that map, well, on the follow-up, the people said they would use that map on, maybe not a daily basis, but a weekly basis to help map out different decisions and different things they needed to do, which then goes back and exceed every value expectation that there is it give them something of value. Again, it's not just about you and how great you are, how amazing you are. Give them some value, teach them something they can actually use. Use forums in the direct mail pieces. Don't address it to household, address it to Sarah, address it to Mike, address it to somebody's first name. We've done this before where it goes literally almost block by block. We've gone on the county assessor website and taken snapshots of the 10 blocks that we really want to hit up. And then everybody in that block or that subdivision, a lot of times, will get a direct mail piece. On the front side of that is a picture of that subdivision. What it comes down to is that in that direct mail piece itself, it says insert picture A, insert picture B, insert picture C. So it's not like you have to customize and spend a ton of work on this. Literally, that's what mail houses specialize at. That's what they're fantastic at. Not design, not strategy, not marketing. They're fantastic and be able to kind of automate some of this process. So use forums inside the mail pieces whenever you can, because you'll see the results really start to skyrocket on that. So the biggest thing, though, is you need to learn how to leverage this 157-year-old marketing technique with today's modern media. How you do that? Facebook, as well as Google. Actually, when we first started doing this presentation here about 6 months ago, it was mainly only on, I shouldn't say only, but it was a huge chunk of it was Facebook. Google opened this up, so now we can do this in Google too, and they opened it up here about 2 months ago. So what you want to do is you want to be able to upload your list to Facebook. So it's your current buyers that are currently that you currently have, or it's that list that you bought and concentrated on your best buyers. All you need is either an email address or you need a phone number. So Facebook will have you upload that list to Facebook. They'll find those people on Facebook with that exact email address or with that exact phone number. Now, keep in mind is that 73% of all people that are on the internet are on Facebook. The other cool thing for the younger demographic, and I'm talking early 28 and below, is that Facebook owns Instagram. Instagram is the #1 social media tool that they use on a regular basis. And so you can also advertise to them based on Instagram as well. So what we want to do is you upload that list to Facebook and you start creating customized ads. The reason is, if I want my direct mail piece to go out and hit on Thursday, I upload this list to Facebook, and magically on Thursday, ads start appearing for people on that list. So now they get the direct mail piece, they get that high-end piece, something that kind of piques their interest, something that really kind of sticks out. Next thing they do, they go to Facebook, which 80% of people check on basically a daily basis on their phones. Then they see your ad. It's like, huh, okay, another touch point. And when we always talk about marketing, you have to have between 7 to 9 touch points for people to really start building trust with you. And so now, right off the bat, literally within an hour or a matter of minutes or an hour, you can have 2 touch points with them right off the bat. That's how you start leveraging your direct mail. So what they do, they receive your direct mail piece. They check out Facebook because that's what people do. They see your ad on Facebook. Then when they see your ad on Facebook, they click on that ad and then they go to your website. This is where the beautiful thing takes place. Once they get on your website, we can start tracking them wherever they go. Now maybe they want to go check out the local news source. You know, it's the newspaper. Any type of online newspaper buys into the syndicate that you can buy into, the exact same syndicate you can buy into. So now they're on that newspaper and they see your ad appear. It's not because you're paying gobs of money to the newspaper to show an online ad. The reason your ad appears is because they've raised their hand. They've shown that, hey, you know what, I'm interested. Not only did I see your direct mail piece, I saw your ad on Facebook, I clicked on that ad, I visited your website. So they've raised their hand showing interest. So now we're targeting just those people that have raised their hand and shown interest. So now again, you can start to see how you start tracking them, retargeting them, and how you have these numerous touch points. And again, you do not have to spend a ton of money in order to get this done. Then they go to see if it's going to be golfing weather. So they go to weather.com. They see your ad all over again. It's wherever they go online, they have the opportunity to be able to see your ad. So really what it comes down to is surrounding your target. You're not spending a bunch of money to do that. You're just very specific and very strategic on exactly how you do it. So once they go to Facebook, they see you. Local news sites, they see you. Fox News, ESPN, CNN. You know, we've seen our ads all over the place. They go to Google, they find you. You know, they read blogs, they find you. Keep in mind, when they see your ad, when they see your brand in front of them, it's not because they just happen to live in a certain area. It's because they are literally on your list and you are going after them. Again, you can do the exact same thing to Google. You can upload your list in Google and start targeting people that are directly on your list. And so it's amazing. Technology has done a fantastic job of making this really just that much easier to be in front of these people. And that's the whole key to the system, is don't rely on just one channel to reach them and get you the results. Take that channel that you're already probably doing to a certain extent, or have thought about to a certain extent. Take that channel and just leverage it. Leverage the hell out of it. So at the end of the day, how do you gauge your ROI? And we talk to clients about this. We've had clients buy lists as small, well, hell, we've had some clients on the B2B side buy lists as small as 60 people. But other times, 500 people, 700 people. So have that list in an Excel sheet. And then, every once in a while, take your current client list, new clients, people have come in over the last X amount of days, and check that according to the list that you bought and see, do they come in? They come from that original list. It's as easy as yes or no. Mark it off, yes or no. Did they come in? Not that they buy from you. It's your job to make sure they actually buy from you. We can't do anything when it comes to them making a decision of buying from you. Maybe it's one of those things they tried to call you 13 times and you never picked up, or maybe they came in, you're a salesperson and was just not real good at their job. Or simply maybe they realize that, and right now is the perfect time. Our goal is to get you more leads on a very consistent basis, and you can check on those leads. Do they come in, yes or no? Then factor in the lifetime value over the next 3 years. And that's how you get your true ROI. So again, the goal is to get them in the door and you must close them. But even if you have a list of 500 people, let's say you get 80 people 50 people through the door, you take the multiple of, lifetime value of 1,000 to the 50. Well, that's $50,000 in lifetime value that you can get through a campaign. And at times you might only spend $5,000 on it. So again, that's a hell of an increase and a great ROI at the end of the day. So case studies, to give you an idea, we've worked with the dentist. The biggest thing with dentists is that they're supposed to come in every 6 months. I think the national average for people that actually go to the dentist consistently is closer to every eight months. And so we try to speed up that process and find new people at the same time. So what we did is we gave targeted people 600 toothbrushes. The cool thing is, and think about this for your business, with this dentist is that they have these brands they work with, Oral-B being one of them, that's more than happy to put the dentist name on an Oral-B toothbrush. It costs the dentist literally pennies in order to get a bunch of these toothbrushes. Oral-B wants to get their name out as well. So talking with Oral-B, they gave them 600 toothbrushes. We then shipped those toothbrushes out. That was the first direct mail piece that we sent out. And keep in mind, when we talked about this, the community as a whole we're doing this for was only 2,500 people. The max audience was 2,500. Again, we're not concentrating on that. We're concentrating on the best buyers inside of that. The best buyers in this case was moms, because they're the ones that set the dentist appointments, that have at least 2 kids living at home. So that way, it's not just the mom that can come in, it's the kids and potentially the spouse as well. So taking that alone, you can increase the results by 4 because you're targeting really, at the end of the day, 4 people instead of just 1. What they did, a direct mail piece, 600 toothbrushes. They followed up them twice with the oversized postcards. Then 6 months later, they did another toothbrush saying, hey, you're supposed to change your toothbrush and come to the dentist at least every 6 months. Come on in. The ROI for them was 141%. We worked with a mechanic. With that mechanic, what we did is we purchased a list of BMW, Mercedes, and Lexus owners. They wanted to work only on high-end cars. So we went after people that owned BMWs, Mercedes, and Lexuses between the ages of 4 to about 11 years old. Because by that time, most of them are out of warranty. And so they can go to kind of the mechanic of choice at that point. So all mail pieces and calls to action inside of this gave a ton of value. Here's what you can do to your BMW, to your Mercedes, to Lexuses. And we didn't send it out to that group of people. We did customized pieces just for BMW owners, just for Mercedes owners. The results of the very first mail campaign actually paid for the entire campaign. And so they got that right off the bat. We worked with an IT consultant, and we narrowed down her list to just 20 hospitals and 20 banks. The number of hospitals in her market is 87. The number of banks in her market is 246. So instead of going after that, and again, those 2 are small numbers, that's a small list in and of itself, is we took their list and targeted just 20 banks and 20 hospitals. Well, if their marketing budget is set, I'd rather go after a lower amount of people with that marketing budget than try to make that stretch and hit a bunch of people. So for them, in the very first direct mail piece, 33% of their audience followed the call to action. 60% of targets signed contracts with the company within 12 months. Her sales cycle for hospitals especially is 12 months. And so that alone was able to really change her business. And again, the reason is that she didn't rely just on direct mail. She relied on the entire system itself. So some takeaways on this is you got to think small, narrow your market, narrow your audience, know them intimately. You have to be able to identify them if they're walking down the street, if they are a good fit for you or not a good fit for you. Leverage Facebook, leverage Google. You can get qualified clicks, website clicks on Facebook ads for as little as 16 cents. You've seen come through, which is phenomenal. So once you get on Facebook and once they click, start retargeting them. Follow them everywhere that they go until they make that buying decision. Gauge the ROI off the lifetime value and simply off that list that you're able to buy and you're able to market to and hit home on again and again and again. The biggest thing is obviously here you have to be consistent. You can't just do the direct mail piece once. You know what? I didn't get any results. This sucks. This isn't going to work. You have to be consistent. I can tell you point blank, we have yet to have a client that's been consistent, done this 4 times, did the proper follow-up, that has not gotten a positive ROI. That's not a bunch of BS. It's legitimately the truth. The only time that it hasn't worked is when they wanted to stop 2 direct mail pieces in. We've had a couple of clients that wanted to do that. We've tried to talk them out of it. Again, it's their decision at the end of the day. But the biggest thing is they lost out because they were not consistent on what this whole system is. So I know I covered a lot, and I know it could be overwhelming. It's completely understandable. So you have some options. One, you can Google and YouTube this, and there are people that do. They piecemeal and pull together through Google and YouTube exactly what I'm talking about. But we also have some options we like to discuss. So number one is you can hire Maly Academy and our staff to visit you, learn your business, create your own direct mail to digital system, run it for you, and hand over customized templates so you can implement additional campaigns. This starts at $12,000 plus ad spend. Option number two, hire Maly Academy and its sister agency, Maly Marketing, to do it completely in-house from start to finish. This is where we take care of everything, run it, give you results on a monthly basis. This starts at $4,600 plus ad spend. What a lot of people do, though, is they just simply decide to join the Maly Academy direct mail digital workshop and learn these advanced strategies directly and then start implementing them for yourself. So what we have is a 4-week training workshop that goes through and details out everything we just covered. We spend the whole entire week on the best buyers and examining the best buyers. Then what we do is we do the secrets and the templates when it comes to direct mail. What have we learned by spending literally millions of dollars in the direct mail space and in the ad space? What do we learn in order for you to leverage that and take that to get better direct mail results? Then we talk about targeting on Facebook, taking that list and uploading it and targeting on Facebook, targeting online ads as a whole, even through Google. Over the past 12 months, we spent $2 million in ad spend on Facebook and online alone. And so we can give you the insights, what we've learned by doing this over and over and over again. So you don't have to make some of those same mistakes. You can hit the ground really running. Then really week number 4, what we take a look at is setting up and learning how to retarget your prospect until they make a buying decision. Be in front of them until they make a buying decision and be consistent. And we'll show you all this. Each week, it's about a 1-hour training where we're online together. It's a workshop. We'll have other people on involved in the class as well. You can ask us questions. It's free flowing, but we really want to concentrate on you building the system out for yourself, and then you being able to use it again and again and again and again. So perhaps you're concerned that the digital direct mail workshop with all of its amazing strategies will cost a small fortune. Well, to be open with you, it really should. We've spent millions of dollars literally testing this stuff on behalf of clients, figuring out what works and what doesn't work. After all, the direct mail digital workshop has already helped 221 small businesses achieve closings and millions of additional revenue. So now, I'll get to the price here in just a few minutes, but first I want to share a few more unique benefits of this workshop and what this workshop will deliver to you. We'll teach you how to avoid wasting thousands of direct mail costs by only mailing to the specific people that have a proven track record of being interested in your product or in your service. You'll enjoy having a templated, proven system doing the heavy lifting for you and taking the angst out of the guesswork. We'll also reveal specifically how to take your direct mail list and upload it to Facebook and to Google, and how this will massively leverage return on your direct mail campaign. Plus, I won't necessarily get into the details now, but it's one of my favorite strategies where you can take your current list of clients that we talked about earlier on and replicate them to find more buyers exactly like them. You'll also discover marketing firms' biggest lies you must avoid if you really want to achieve the success that you desire. These lies, to a certain extent, is where they make some of their profits. Plus, we will unlock the secret of where to buy highly targeted lists, really for the fraction of the cost most firms will charge you. There's been times I've seen firms charging $1,200, $1,500 for some of these lists that we can get for as little as $300 to $400. So the price of the digital direct mail workshop sold by itself generally is $1,997, but that's not the price for you. And I'll explain why. First of all, just for watching the entire presentation, I like to give you 2 value-added bonuses free of charge, just to help you increase your marketing ROI even faster. The first gift you'll receive today is our package of best buyer and direct mail templates that show you exactly how to target your absolute best buyers, set up your direct marketing campaign, saving you hours and hours and hours and thousands of dollars in design fees. Normally that alone is $797. And today that's yours for free. The second gift you'll be receiving today is access to our Facebook group page where you can connect with others in the Maly Academy community and leverage their success in other marketing activities. Normally, we sell access to the group for $698 for the year. Today, that's yours for free. Now you can see why the direct mail digital workshop is valued at $1,997. And when you add in the bonuses I'm talking about, the retail value of the direct mail digital workshop is $1,997 plus $797 plus $698 equals $3,492. However, just for watching the presentation today, I have a much better deal coming your way, so keep watching because it will not be available after this webinar is over. And to let you know, it's not even half of the $3,492. It's not even $1,246 today only. And from this presentation, your total investment in the direct mail digital workshop, including all the bonuses valued at $3,492, is only $997. Take a look at the left of the video, the chat feature. What I want to be able to put on here right now with the chat feature is the link that you directly go to be able to take advantage of what we're talking about, the direct mail workshop. So click on the link that follows. I want to increase my revenue now and lock in your discounted price for only $997. Now I want you to try this on me. So if you do not have, that way you don't have to make a decision now. I want you to take advantage of my triple guarantee. First of all, I want you to try the direct mail digital workshop on me for the first 2 full classes. If you do not learn the secret to finding your buyers exactly, or you don't like my current clients, or you don't find our service or attention superb, or even you don't like my jokes, I don't care, that's fine. I'll refund every penny you invested today. And that's my first guarantee. No questions asked, no hassles, no hard feelings. You'll get your money back if you have not learned anything in the very first 2 classes. Look to the left of the video right now. Click on the link that says, I want to increase my revenue now and lock in your discounted price. Plus, if you act before the presentation ends, I'm going to include this super bonus worth at least an additional $125, absolutely free. What that is, you'll get a free 30-minute phone conversation with myself to discuss your current marketing strategies. That brings your total value to over $3,617. Now, just by clicking on the link on the right that says, I want to increase my revenue now, you'll get the entire direct mail to digital workshop package for just $997. It truly is that simple. Remember, you'll get bonus 1, do-it-yourself templates. Bonus 2, exclusive access to our Facebook community. The triple money back guarantee. And the super bonus, a 30-minute phone conversation with myself. Immediately after you buy today, we'll add you to our exclusive Facebook community so you can immerse yourself immediately. Then head over to the page, malyacademy.com/bestbuyerguide, and download our templates. You can discover what your clients are shouting to share about you. This truly will ensure you get started quickly. So by joining our community and downloading the Best Buyer's Guide template today, it will help get off the right foot so you too can start getting maximum results from your direct mail efforts. Remember, along with making the decision to change your business for the better today, you'll also be receiving bonus 1, do-it-yourself templates, bonus 2, exclusive access to our Facebook community, our triple money back guarantee, and our super bonus, 30-minute consultation with myself. So click on the link on the left right now, and let's get started today. Now, if you're still watching, I bet you have some questions. And here are some of the most common questions that we receive about the direct mail digital workshop, and really the answers to really help you out. 1, what is the average cost in doing some of this direct mail? First of all, I'm a big believer when we talk to our clients and internally, it's not a cost, it is an investment. It has to be a mind shift around an investment. Investment is something you put money into, and ideally you get money back out of, not an expense. An expense is a sinkhole that never returns anything back to you. So it truly is an investment. To give you an idea, we have some clients that will spend just all costs from design fees to any type of mail fees to postage to print costs to all that. On the direct mail side, they'll spend right around $2,000, and that's for all 4 of those direct mail pieces. Some of those clients, same clients, might be spending an additional $300 per month when it comes to digital ad spend. So over a 6-month basis, you're really looking about $3,800. So not a whole lot. We have other ones with higher lifetime values for the clients. They're doing, really like $10,000 per month on a very consistent basis. You don't have to have a lot. The other question that people have is, when you're working with somebody, what about, if you might be the business owner, but what about everybody else? Can I have other people in my office jump on this? Absolutely, you can have other people jump on it. You can have 2, 3 other people from your office take this and really run with this, and we could teach them this. And so that's one great advantage of this as well. The other side of it is, how do you just track the ROI? Well, we'll be able to show you really through a bonus. Another bonus class that we send some people through is how to set up Google tracking. So through analytics, through Facebook, through direct mail, what really works, what doesn't work, what's tracking the best at the end of the day. And we can help set that up for you. So regardless of what you're doing, we have clients that hire us just for the direct mail piece. We end up setting up Google Analytics tracking for everything they do, from radio ads, to email blasts, to newspaper placement, to print placement, to billboards, to everything. And again, we'd be more than happy to work with you and set that up for you on that side of it. So that really kind of hits home on the investment and how to fully take advantage of it. I know when we first set up, we talked about an hour, and we were actually in just a few minutes past an hour. So what I want to do, if you have any additional questions, feel free to email me, steve@malyacademy.com. Be more than happy to help you out, answer any questions that you might have, and then ideally kind of get you on your way. So that way 2016 is one of the most profitable years you have ever experienced, and you actually have something that's pretty consistent in this. So again, thanks for joining me in this workshop. I appreciate and I really value your time. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email me, steve@malyacademy.com. And to you and yours, happy holidays, and I hope the best is for you to come in 2016.